Hey, what's going on, folks? So, a few days ago, I made this video right here where I criticized a very popular fake guru in the black space for basically posting this very controversial post on his Instagram where he said, I'm gonna be real with you, 100K to 200K in your bank account right now is no real money. You will not feel secure until you have 600K to a million tucked away. And, when I posted this, I'm thinking like, hey, my subscribers are intelligent. They're smart. They're probably going to agree with me and, kind of understand where I'm coming from and whatever, enjoy the video. And boy, was I wrong. Many of my subscribers completely disagreed with me in the comments. And I want to make a follow-up video to this because I think that there's either a disconnect or maybe a lot of my subscribers aren't really understanding what exactly I was saying and exactly what Ian Dunlap is saying. So first, let's just go ahead and clarify this, okay? Ian Dunlap is not talking about retirement, okay? If you're talking about retirement, then he's absolutely right. 100K to 200K is no real money. I did my research. I looked at what he commented to people who commented under his post. I looked at his post and I concluded there is no way in hell this guy is talking about retirement. What he's saying is right this second, regardless of whatever age you are, if you have 100 to 200K in your bank account right now, that's not real money. That's not a lot of money to feel financially secure. I strongly disagree, okay? So we're going to go over some comments, and I'm just going to kind of respond to them, and we're just going to go from there because we really need to break this stuff down. The reason why I have to make this video is because it's very important that people understand the truth when it comes to finance. There are a lot of people that are misled when it comes to finance, and unfortunately, people were not talking like this before the pandemic. After the pandemic, when the government gave everybody all this money, now all of a sudden you have all these fake gurus, all these Instagram models, all these Instagram liars, and all these people who are popping up with these nice cars and fancy whatever and money and showing off cash and all this. And folks did the PPP loan scam and all that. So now, for whatever reason, society, I guess, has changed a little bit, at least on social media, maybe not in real life, but on social media. Now all of a sudden, everybody thinks that if you're not a millionaire, you're broke. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. You do not have to have 600K to $1 million in your bank account to be financially secure. That's number one. Number two, 99% of the people watching this video are never going to have 600K to $1 million in their bank account. Can you get 600K to $1 million in your retirement account over time? Absolutely. But will 99% of the people in this watching this video have 600K to $1 million in their bank just sitting in cash? You can do whatever you want with it? Hell no. Let's live in reality here, folks. Let's be realistic. Let's stop with the nonsense, okay? All right, let's read it. So just want to see some of the comments that I said right here. Okay, here's one comment I want to highlight. So this guy said, I agree with that statement. I make 100K plus, but live in a major city and look after a disabled relative. We live comfortably, but if anything major happened to me and I had to stop working, that 100K would not last more than 2 years. Okay. So this guy is bringing up one of these crazy scenarios that'll probably never happen. Like, oh yeah, I make 6 figures, but I live in a major city. I look after a disabled relative. We live comfortably, but if a refrigerator fell on my back and I couldn't work, I'd be screwed. Like, come on, man. What are the chances of something happening to you where you never, ever get to work? What are the chances? My family's pretty big, right? I got 6 siblings, mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, I got aunties, uncles. There's not a single person in my family that has ever had a work injury where they got disabled. Like, come on. I can't even think of friends that I know where their relatives had a work injury and got disabled. So we got to stop it with the nonsense. Here's the reality. You're saying that you make 100K plus, you live in a major city, you look after a distant relative, and you live comfortably. That right there we need to zone in on. If you live comfortably, I'm assuming you living comfortably means you can easily afford all your bills and still put money away. So in my opinion, there will be no excuse for you because even if something happened, and I'm not going to go the whole, oh, I got injured, I can't work crap. That's not realistic. Let's just say you lost your job. That's more realistic. Okay, you lose your job. You could easily get another job. It's not going to take that long. And if you have an emergency fund, which you should have because you literally said you live comfortably. If you live comfortably, that means you should have extra money on the side in each paycheck to put away into an emergency fund. So as long as you have an emergency fund, you can always get another job. Getting jobs is not that hard in this current economy right now. Maybe the economy could change. Right now, not hard to get a job. Just want to make that plain. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and see what else people got to say. This guy says 100K is not enough to have tucked away, especially when you start having kids and start buying property in a major city. I strongly disagree. Yeah, if you're buying a house in cash, then yeah, that's not enough. But if you're buying a 300K house, which is basically what the average American has, If you buy something like that, your down payment is going to be like 30K, something like that. Whatever 20% is. I don't know. I don't know what 20% is, but you get the point. Your down payment's not going to be anything, ridiculous. And also, I just want to make it clear, you don't always have to put down 20% when you buy a house. I'm finding this out now because me and my girlfriend are trying to buy a house. You don't have to put 20%. Now, we are going to put 20%. I just want to make that clear. But I'm just saying, we do know that there are options out there that you don't have to put 20%. Just want to put that out there. So my point is, he's saying that 100K is not enough to have tucked away, especially when you start having kids. I strongly disagree with that. Obviously, it depends on how many kids you have. But I mean, if you have 100K in your bank account saved up and you're working a job and you're bringing in a decent income, and maybe you have a spouse and she's bringing in a decent income, that is definitely more than enough to have kids and support them and start buying property in a major city. Like, we got to stop it with the craziness here. Like, come on, man. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's see. Let's see. This guy says he's not wrong on this one. The average American is broke, so that's not a good barometer. Okay, but this guy's like overdoing it because he's saying that, well, 100K is broke, but the average American is broke, so that's not a good barometer. No, I don't think he understands. 55% of all Americans don't even have $1,000 in their bank account. And I'm sure if we go up further, you'll probably figure out that 1% of the entire population has $100,000 in their bank account. So if that's the case, just by fact and common sense, if you have 100K in your bank account, you're not broke. Because 99% of the entire population, not just America, in the entire world, 99% of the entire world population does not have $100,000 in their bank account. So how in God's name is $100,000 in your bank account no money? We got to stop it, folks. We have to use common sense here. This is getting crazy. And I'm hoping that some of you guys are just not really understanding the question or what I was saying, because that's just ridiculous. Okay. This guy says, I've got about 100K between investment accounts, savings, and equity. And yes, I feel broke, kind of. Better than nothing, but not great. Okay. So you got 100K between investments, savings, and equity, but you still feel broke. I guess my question would be, what are your monthly expenses? Because the only reason why somebody in your situation would feel broke is you must be living above your means. You got to be. And I don't want to call you out because I don't know what you're doing. You might be frugal. I don't know. But there are a lot of people who have a decent amount of money and they live above their means. That really be the downfall of the middle class. Like, for example, right? Well, I'm not even going to mention myself. We're not even going to talk about me. The bottom line is I significantly live below my means for the amount of money that I make. And it has made me extremely flexible, and it's put me in a position where no matter where the economy is at, no matter what's happening, I always feel extremely financially secure because I live so far below my means. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'll give you guys an example right now. So they say that when you pay for housing or rent or whatever, it should make up 30% of your income, right? Well, guess what? My rent makes up about 10% of my monthly income, okay? So that's what I mean when I say I significantly live below my means. Like, I'm not out here trying to impress people with the nicest house or the nicest car. I drive a freaking Hyundai Elantra, So that could be this guy's problem. If you have 100K, remember, this guy is in the top 1%. He might not know this, but he is. The fact that you have 100K between your investment accounts, savings, and equity, you are in the top, well, maybe not the top 1% when you count in the investments, but he's at least in the top 10%. I'm telling you right now, I know this for a fact. There are so few Americans who have any money put away. Americans just don't think like that. We are in a culture where Americans just, and it's a mixture. Some people are really trying and they're just trying to survive, and it's just really hard. I get it. But there's also this culture we have where when people make more money, they spend more money. For example, celebrities. A lot of you guys think that these rappers and these celebrities are rich. I'm here to break the news to you. They're not. You know why? Because once they start getting $250,000 checks for every acting gig they do or every rap song they make or whatever it is, they spend it just as fast. They start buying crazy stuff like, I don't know, charter plane rentals or whatever. You know how you can like rent a private plane and stuff? They start doing dumb stuff, buying cars, buying expensive gifts for these Instagram. People just start doing dumb things. That is the culture we're in America. Nobody wants to save money and live in the frugal house with the frugal lifestyle, with the average car. Everybody wants the big, the nice, the flashy, the crazy. And that's what's causing a lot of these issues where you have crazy people on the internet really saying that if you have 100 to 200K, you're broke. No, you're not broke if you have 100 to 200K in your bank account. Just stop being stupid. You don't need a $600,000, $700,000 house. Just get the $200,000 house. Get the $10,000 car. You don't need a Tesla. You don't need a BMW. That's what it is. I'm telling you right now. I know this because I'm an adult and I deal with money every day. I know how this goes. This is crazy. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we got. Okay, here we go. This is probably the most liked comment. This is going to be funny. Have to disagree with you on this one. Ian is right. 100K is not enough to feel comfortable these days. Just because the average American is financially illiterate doesn't mean having close to 1 million net worth goal to be comfortable isn't out of the question. Okay, once again, citizen of the year. How many people are going to have a $1 million net worth in their lifetime until they retire? Very few. Okay, that's the reality. So you could disagree with me if you want, but at the end of the day, both you and Ian Dunlap are wrong, sir. You and Ian Dunlap are both wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. Fine, the average American is financially illiterate. Okay, great, we get it. But it is so incredibly difficult to get a $1 million net worth. I'm telling you right now, for most people, it is not going to happen. Now, it can easily happen when they get to retirement age. But guess what? Once you get to that point, you're in retirement now. That is a whole different ball game than getting $1 million or 100K or 200K in your bank account when you're trying to buy a home and raise kids and all those other things. I am telling you right now, if you have $100,000 to $200,000 in your bank account right now at the age of 30, 35, 40, whatever, in the later, not the later, but like the middle stages of your life where you're like, going to buy a house, get married, have kids, whatever it is. If you have that amount of money, that is more than enough. That is enough to have a significant amount of savings, to put money away to invest, to put a down payment on a home. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you get to stop working. Nobody ever said that. I never said that. You still have to work. But the fact that you have that, you are doing better than 99% of the entire population. So stop it with this 2020 pandemic, PPP loan, free money everywhere crap where, you got to have close to $1 million to be comfortable. And it's not out the question. Yes, the hell it is. Stop it. Oh, anybody, that's this crazy talk. Anybody can become a millionaire. Just buy my course, bro. That's that type of talk. Like, stop it. Stop it. Let's see what the reply said. This person said 100K will cover most people's expenses for 2 to 3 years. If you add work on top of that, you're as good as gold, my guy. Bingo. It's nice to see somebody in the comments that has common freaking sense. Shout out to you, man, or girl, whichever one you are. But shout out to you for having common freaking sense. I mean, am I in a Twilight Zone here or what? Okay, here we go. Okay. Grid says, in a way, I understand what he's saying. In NYC, 100K isn't really much when rent is 3K, food is 600 if you have kids, forget about it. Now, 150,000 is the new 100K. Okay, exactly. So this is why context matters, right? And I want to make it clear, I really hate it when people bring up those anomalies. Oh, if you live in New York and California, 100K not a lot. Okay, well, guess what? Those are 2 states out of 50. What about the other 50 states? What about North Carolina? What about Utah? What about North Dakota? What about Wyoming? What about Illinois? I can tell you right now, I live in the city, Chicago. You make, not even make, you have 150K in your bank account. You're in the top like 5% of Chicago. I'm telling you that right now. Very few people in this city have 100K. And I'm telling you right now, Chicago is not that dang incredibly expensive. If you make 100K or more in Chicago, you can easily be okay. There are plenty of neighborhoods. Yeah, sure. You're not going to be able to live in Gold Coast. Gold Coast is like the fanciest, nicest neighborhood in downtown Chicago. Yeah, you're not going to live in Gold Coast. You're not going to live in North Shore or anything like that. But you could definitely live in some of the other more middle-class neighborhoods in Chicago. Like, we got to stop this foolishness, okay? So, yeah, you're right. New York, you're absolutely right. 100K isn't that much. And what I would say is I think people that live in New York and California are nuts. Now, I get it. If you grew up there, your family's there, I get it. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, if that were me, I would move. I mean, honestly, I contemplate moving out of Illinois sometimes because I think Illinois is expensive. I've been to so many other states that are so much more cheap and they're just as nice as Chicago. I'm like, is moving to Houston really that bad? Sounds pretty good, Just saying. Okay. Oh, great. Charlie, another person with common sense. The average American will not save that amount of money. Thank you, Charlie 4006. You are absolutely correct. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this person says he is not wrong, though. You buy a house, a car, what's left? Okay, Mr. Crim De Niro. Here's the deal, buddy. You say you buy a house and a car, what's left with your 100 and 200K in your savings? Well, you see, it works like this. You put a down payment on your home. You make sure you buy a home that you can afford and you pay the mortgage. So you put your 20, 30K down, you got 70K left. Okay. A car, I don't know why you're thinking that a car is that expensive. If you have 100K in your bank account or 200K in your bank account, getting a car is nothing. As a matter of fact, the car that I drive now, how much is that thing worth? Like $12,000 or something? I don't know, something like that. It ain't expensive, okay? You can easily get a Hyundai or a Toyota or a Honda and you'll be okay. Now, if you want to be stupid and buy the Cybertruck, then yes, 100K is not enough if you want to buy the stupid Cybertruck. But if you buy a regular car like a regular human being, which, by the way, I just want to make it clear, I think buying fancy cars is really stupid because at the end of the day, all a car does is get you from point A to point B. What are you driving a fancy car for anyway? Like, you're just setting yourself up to get robbed. You can't even drive fancy cars in Chicago. I mean, you can, but you got to be careful in certain neighborhoods because I'm telling you, people will take your car, man. Chicago known for that. They take cars over here. So I'm just saying, why would I even buy a nice car to make myself a target? So I'm assuming that you're saying you buy a nice house and a nice car and you have nothing left. That's what I'm assuming. Because there's no way in heck you could tell me that 100K to 200K is not enough to buy a Honda or a Toyota. Let's stop it here. And a 200K house, or even you could even get a 300K house, you know. But again, I want you guys to understand, we're assuming that you're still working. Nobody's saying that you got 100 to 200K. You could just live for the rest of your life and sit on your butt and play video games. We're not saying that. We're saying if you have that in your account while continuing to work, you're in a great position. What's so hard to understand about that? Okay, let's see what else. Oh, God, here we go. My number one troll. This guy is my number one troll, guys. Here we go. Okay, Gil. Ian is correct, bro. 100K is nothing. Anyone who's had 100K knows that 100K is nothing. How easily it can go away in a devastating emergency. That's not true. I'll even throw myself in there. I've had several emergencies happen in my life, and I didn't need nearly 100K to get myself out of it. So I don't know if you guys are making up these random extreme emergencies, but I've had serious car problems that cost thousands of dollars, and I was just easily able to pay it because I had an emergency fund. Okay, engine jacked up or the transmission's wrong. Okay, $2,000. There you go. The end. Like I don't know what you guys are talking about here. What crazy scenarios are you guys thinking about? Let's continue to read his comment. 100K is also easy to blow if not smart and back to zero. Well, yeah, of course. Any amount of money is easy to blow if you're stupid. Look at people win the lottery. You got people who won $100 million in the lottery and went broke. If it hurts anyone's feelings for being broke, stop being average, stop crying, aim to be not average, or feel the consequences and punishments coming your way. Okay, Andrew Tate. Well, my advice and my commentaries for the average American, okay? We're not talking to the 1% of people who are going to become top G's and start their real world academy and make all this money. We're talking to the average person who works a regular job. You ain't saving $1 million. So let's just be realistic here, folks. All right. I think that's it. Okay, I rambled on for long enough. I just had to make my response to some of my insane subscribers who said these crazy things. Hopefully this cleared this up. Just want to make it clear, I mean, no offense to anybody. Hopefully you guys didn't take any. I think all of you guys are cool. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm just giving mine, okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.